As Virginia and North Carolina farmers conclude harvesting their 2014 crops, they're looking ahead to the 2015 crop with a focus on managing cost and maximizing opportunity for profit on every acre. We at Advanced Agra Service understand that our first step to planning for the future is taking in account of lessons learned in the past. So, let's go to the field and check our performance in 2014.
The 1163, of course, is a high-performing corn. It's done very well, especially the last 2 years. We've got a lot of water. We got some water some other guys didn't get this year, and it's done well. It makes a great silage corn, and it's got the grain there too. But I've been pleased with the 11 HQ31 as well. Have used that both for silage and for grain, and have gotten along well. Seen some good yields out of that. Shelled some this year and got north of 200 bushels with it, so hard to complain about that. The 1143, that's a new hybrid for me this year. Haven't gotten any of that cut yet, so don't know where I'm going to be on that, but have good confidence in it. I've just been happy overall with what I've seen. 2 years ago I planted the 1172 and got some of the highest yields I'd ever gotten on any corn ground with that, so happy with that as well. So the corn has performed well. It's priced right, and I've been happy with it.
We didn't decide to enter this till partway through the summer, so we didn't really do anything special up front, but we did flea fungicide on this summer, and top dress nitrogen was their last chance to get over with the spray coop, and had decent rain, run a little shy here at the end, but 11H63's done well for us in the past, and it's done okay again this year, so I'm happy enough.
This field has probably more potential than any I've got. It's a bottom. It had a lot of chicken litter years ago, and it stays fairly wet, and we put the fertilizer behind it, and when it was about 3 feet tall or so, we spread another 100 pounds of urea over the top, and it has really made some corn. I'm anxious to see what it yields, but this is the highest ears I've ever seen on 1163, and they're full, and it just looks good.
The 15 is going to give us an earlier variety. It's going to be several days earlier in comparison to the 1172, which should mean better dry down for us. Excellent stalk strength, excellent root strength in the 1115, and so we think it's going to be a real nice companion hybrid to the 1172.
In 2014, with volatility in weather throughout our sales area, it was evident that having the right hybrid in the right field was an enormous influence on yield. That's why we continue our robust variety research program for our Virginia and North Carolina customers. As research data accumulates on our seed consultants and Supreme EX corn and soybean varieties, we gain new and valuable insight into making recommendations that correctly position our products to maximize yield and limit risk. In both 2013 and 2014 testing, SCS 11HR63 and SCS 11HQ31 continue to claim top honors where moisture and fertility are abundant.
Yeah, we started shelling last week, and we ran some 11HQ31. That was some of the best yielding corn we've ever had. Just seems like every year the corn keeps getting a little bit better, and this new hybrid 11HR63 seems to be at least as good or better than the 31 that we had. It's the first year we'd grown it, but really looks good everywhere we've had it. Hopefully in another week or two we can get into some, but it really looks like it's going to do really well. It's hard to imagine getting any better for the type of ground that we grow on, but here's some ears that we pulled off, and if you do your counting and everything, it's 240, 250. So I'm real anxious to take it off. Field average 223 bushel, and this field looks substantially better. It's a little bit better on disease than the 31 might be. It's a little bit taller hybrid, but the ears are just really it's got a lot of flex to it, and we had a lot of rain this year and things just worked out right.
Yeah, it appeared the 11 HQ31 was definitely in the top tier yield-wise in the test plot, and it also had very good standability. It didn't appear it had issues with the crown rot that we saw in some of the other varieties. So I think it's one we definitely will have our eye on going forward. And we've actually got another farm today we're going to be picking that's got 11 HQ31 side by side with some Decal and Pioneer that we're going to see how it does there as well. But it really did look to do good in the plot.
SCS 11HR63 and SCS 11HQ31 are truly impressive hybrids that are breaking farm yield records and winning yield contests. But corn genetics with the highest yield potential has to be matched with population, fertility, and highly productive soil. But what about marginal soils and microclimates that limit yield level far below the potential of most hybrids? Solution? SC 1172.
I'm real conservative by nature. I plant for a drought. I don't push for a lot of nitrogen. Last year, this corn made a bushel of corn on 7/10 of a pound of nitrogen. We plant somewhere 27,000, give or take. No matter what the moisture is with our heat and conditions, we're just a couple weeks from a drought. To make corn, we need some water, so I pretty much plant for a drought every year. I have some bottom ground that we push a little bit harder, but sometimes I'll give up on the top end to make a crop. This corn, this 1172, has been through some dry years. This field 2 years ago was planted in 1172, and it was by far the best we had. It averaged 150 bushels when normal was right much less, probably 110 or 15. So it hangs in there. I like the conventional corn. This field we're standing in does have the resistant pigweed in it. We do burn down with Roundup, but I'm trying to get it out of my rotation to control the pigweed as much as possible.
Because we have measured a decisive advantage with SC 1172 under drought conditions since 2011, Seed Consultants has expanded production to offer a family of drought-tolerant varieties based on the SC 1172. SC 11AGT43, SC 11AQ74, and SC 11AQ15. These are rugged genetics that protect yield by having an extra measure of drought tolerance when things get really tough.
And we're looking at 11 AGT74 on the 7th of October. This is one of the only fields that you can drive by at this point that still has some green life in it. And this hybrid, along with 1143 and 1172, comprise our best stay green lineup for Southwest Virginia and the Shenandoah Valley in terms of giving you an extra measure of tolerance to the leaf diseases that have been so prevalent in 2014. These varieties in particular have been standouts this year as far as giving us extra stay green. A lot of farms, they were harvested last because a number of the competitor varieties dried up first. And so we recommend heartily 11 AGT74 because of its drought tolerance as well as additional stay green for silage production. I would position 1143 on your lighter soils, the farms that you think maybe you shouldn't be planting corn on. This would be a good variety to try on those soils and those farms. A safe bet is better than anything else, and this would be a safe bet corn.
In 2014, our well-researched silage lineup fed more dairy herds than ever before, and we plan to work hard to keep that trend going. SCS 11HR63, SCS 11HQ31, SC 11AQ43, SC 11AQ72, and SC 11AQ74 comprise our 2015 silage lineup. These hybrids represent valuable tools in the hands of North Carolina and Virginia silage producers, enabling them to harvest more pounds of milk or beef from every forage acre planted.
We grew about approximately 900 acres of Seed Consultants corn this year. We feel like Seed Consultants have been very profitable for us. Our milk production through this summer, which we do a lot of heat abatement, but our milk production's been about 85 pounds all summer, and we feel like it's got a lot of grain in it, and the corn's very digestible. The cows seem to milk very well off of it. Our corn still is gonna, I'd say it's still probably shell, if you were shelling it, probably 150 bushel or better, and I think it's stayed healthy and green longer than some. I was very impressed with the 31 this year. Had a really nice ear on it, even though some of the drought kind of hit it a little bit funny. I think it was still shelled over 150 bushel. It was really good corn. Most every time the starch levels are really good. I think we see on the milk 2000s, we're 2,800 pounds, sometimes a little better, and the NEL's like 0.8, and we see TDN 75, 78%, something like that. It holds up very strongly against every other competition we've seen. When you're trying to push for that last 5 or 10 pounds of milk, you got to have everything right. But the forage quality is very high on the list.
This is our first year on 15-inch row. We didn't really know where to start on population-wise. So on this good land here on the dairy barn, we just thought we were going to shoot close to a plant per square foot. So looking 43, 44,000. So that's what we ended up with. So far, we've been extremely happy with it. It's got good height, good stay green. It's good disease tolerance too. Considering it's 15-inch row corn, and you're going to tend to have a little more disease problems. All the corn we've looked at, all the ears we looked at, me and my brother, most 16 around, some 18 around, and 35, 36 long. I think this field here would. Spots in it will easily go well over 300 bushels, but we'll be hopefully making silage out of this corn in a couple of weeks, and we might leave out a couple acres to shell just to see what it would do.
Locally adapted varieties and the latest technology. That's a powerful combination for your farm. Our customers and dealers are the heart of our seed business. We take it very seriously when you commit corn acreage to Seed Consultants. It's teaming with forward-thinking growers like you that makes the idea of moving yields forward a reality. We look forward to working with you on your 2015 crop.